Okay, let's try that one more time. It's not my iPad.
Well,
Okay, so anyway, we'll try to work through it. Team system is us today. On our agenda, first thing we need to do is approve the council meeting minutes from 3/14. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Second. Those in favor? Awesome. Meeting minutes are approved for submission to the state. And then a motion to approve the meeting minutes from 3/28. And a second. Those in favor? Meeting minutes are approved for submission. All right, so let's talk about some of the things that we've been doing. Of course, reinforcing the fact that Guided Path Support Group is still ongoing. It's held on Wednesdays from 1 to 3 here at Carrollton.
oh, good.
And then individual recovery support is Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 to 3:30. And then in addition to that, we're still recruiting for our recovery navigator and our project coordinator. Those interviews should be started here soon.
How many people have been attending?
We've had, all in all, between all of the support groups that the councils help facilitate, there's been what, 30?
So for like each,
No, just all together.
oh, okay, we're all
It's 35.
5.
So 35 people's attended all together. Some days there's more than others, but we all have busy lives. Now, coming up in May, April and May outreach. So Kevin is going to speak on behalf of the council. The plan is for her to conduct outreach at a group that she's going to attend. She's going to talk about her work with Birth to 5, but also the important work that we do on the Recovery Council. And then in May, we're looking to facilitate additional outreach meetings. I think in May, Heather, will be to the point where we can actually get out there and be in the field. We're just not to that point at the moment. From some of the resource updates that we have going on, in all, we have grown our, we've grown, I can get it to work. In April, we've grown to 42 participants working with recovery support, whether it's placing them, finding them the connection to JCH or connection to SIU Behavioral Health or, community resources. There's 42 people that are actively engaged in the process. In all, in March, between Amanda and I, we had 94 individual interactions. So we've been quite busy. Sorry, somebody was calling me. It threw me off here. Hygiene support. Last month, we assisted 21 individual interactions with Next Impressions. So we connected them to resources, clothing for jobs. I think, what is our number at now, Amanda, with people being successful getting a job after?
We have
4 people successfully gained employment. We help a lot of people with the Next Impressions clothing. There's a lot of interest in it. So we're definitely still accepting donations, so spread the word.
I just had a bag too, donation.
Awesome. And Narcan continues to be a big project. Last month, she was able to train Carrollton School District. I think there were 60 people in attendance at the Carrollton School District. And when she entered the room, in several of her trainings, not just there, but when she entered the room, there was stigma. Why am I here? I don't need this. This doesn't happen. When she left the room, 100% of the people had Narcan with them. So, sharing those personal stories, about stigma, her own journey, and really helping people relate and connect to that it can happen here, that can happen anywhere. I think it really works. So I'm really looking forward to the girls continuing that work. There's a lot more places we can get Narcan. So
Yeah, the school actually wanted more Narcan, so I took them both, high school and elementary, 24 apiece. So
in March, in addition, hygiene was 8 individuals that we assisted, and then provided tobacco cessation educational materials to 4 people. So I want to take a minute. So like I said at the beginning, we're going to be doing some videos here that help us really know or begin to form that foundation of how we talk about the council's work. The council, requested this. So I want to make sure that we spend a little time talking about it. So the Center of Excellence has fantastic resources that really break it down. And I'm going to share these videos. It won't work there. You'll have to share it a different way. So let me. All right, so the first one is peer support.
Most people understand traditional methods for substance use recovery, but peer recovery support as a service can be difficult to grasp. Peer recovery support occurs when people with shared lived experience connect with each other. The bond that results can create mutual empathetic experiences that foster growth and recovery. Evidence is growing that peer support services help nourish the seeds of recovery and cultivate marked improvement for individuals and the healthcare system. This person-centered, voluntary approach to recovery can support people in building self-confidence, increasing healthy behaviors, and building meaning in the lives of people affected by substance use challenges. Peer recovery support takes many forms. It might look like working as a behavioral health professional, or it could look like 2 friends visiting together in a coffee shop. When peer recovery support is used as a service for people navigating substance use, a person with lived experience undergoes training to support others in building meaningful lives. Peer workers share their stories of recovery to inspire hope, connect others to community resources, support people in learning skills, advocate with people in recovery, and sometimes lead recovery groups. Peer recovery support services often occur in community settings where the people seeking support live and work. They also play a vital role in engaging individuals who have historically been denied access to services by providing information about alternative support options. Peer recovery support professionals can also be found in institutional settings like hospitals, treatment centers, or jails and prisons, where they add value to an individual's recovery journey. Whether it's finding a job, developing a skill, or grabbing a bite to eat, peer recovery support services make recovery more accessible by helping individuals foster lives where recovery can thrive and bloom. To learn more about available resources and how peer support can help you cultivate your recovery, visit the Peer Recovery Center of Excellence.
Right. So that talks about peer support and the importance of peer support within our community, because we talk about peer support a lot. Peer support is meant to, bridge the gap. It's not meant to replace any services, But there's a big gap between entry and actual commencement of clinical services. Well, bridging that gap and helping build social connectedness, connection to resources is absolutely crucial. And it's the only way we as a community can really move forward. So let's watch a video about the recovery-oriented system of care. And it does a good job at helping us explain ROSC.
Recovery from substance use disorder is a lifelong process, similar to other chronic conditions like diabetes or heart disease. In our society's relatively short history of treating substance use disorders, most of our efforts had been focused on short-term treatments provided at a point of crisis. Over the long term, effectively treating substance use disorders requires a range of personalized supports that work together to foster healthy growth and a meaningful life. This is known as a recovery-oriented system of care. For recovery to fully take root, all aspects of a person's life must be addressed. A recovery-oriented system of care encompasses the entire network of services and supports that help individuals improve health and sustain wellness. The focus of care expands beyond clinically directed models to engage the larger ecosystem of support that is community-based, person-centered, and builds on the strength and resilience of individuals, families, and communities. Recovery-oriented systems of care build partnerships and networks that increase recovery capital. This inspires positive outcomes by promoting prevention, early intervention, harm reduction, treatment, and recovery support across a person's entire life. This system recognizes that each individual is worthy of culturally relevant, comprehensive, coordinated care for their unique situation. Resources in the community are easily accessed and leveraged toward achieving each individual's goals. The central focus of a recovery-oriented system of care is to create a vibrant ecosystem of supports and resources to effectively address the full range of substance use challenges within communities, placing the person receiving support at the center of the process. This transformation of thought, policy, and practice emphasizes the hope and reality of a fruitful, long-term recovery. For more information on the benefits of a recovery-oriented system of care, visit the Peer Recovery Center of Excellence.
I think that those two videos are absolutely fantastic at explaining what it is, why we're really here.
That's what I'm me.
Let's watch. So we also talk about recovery capital and building recovery capital within our community. It's a big part of the reason the ROSC was started in the first place. So this is a video explaining it a little better.
Recovery from substance use challenges is often viewed through a clinical lens, with the primary focus on the diagnosis of addiction. Of course, the scope of long-term recovery is much broader. That's why peer recovery support specialists focus on the whole individual through a holistic, community-based approach that's rooted in a framework called recovery capital. Like a plant needs resources to thrive, recovery capital refers to the total internal and external resources a person can access to initiate and maintain recovery. Recovery capital is often broken into 4 types: physical, human, social, and cultural. Physical recovery capital consists of tangible resources like food, clothing, housing, healthcare, and transportation. Human recovery capital includes personal health, education, and skills, as well as characteristics such as hope, resilience, and self-confidence. Social recovery capital involves family and personal relationships, as well as support from the community. Finally, cultural recovery capital includes values, beliefs, and attitudes specific to one's identity and community. The quantity and quality of recovery capital is vital in determining the support someone needs to cultivate a meaningful life. If a person in recovery is unemployed, doesn't have a home, and is cut off from supportive family, her recovery capital is low. But if this same person gains employment, moves into a quality apartment, and connects with a support group, her recovery capital increases, along with her outlook for maintaining recovery. The recovery capital needed is as unique as the person facing substance use challenges and will vary at multiple points in time throughout a person's life. By understanding recovery capital, individuals experiencing recovery and those supporting them can assess where they stand and make adjustments when necessary to help them grow and bloom in a purposeful life. To learn more, visit the Peer Recovery Center of Excellence.
So that was my favorite theme, just because building recovery capital is like the center of everything that I'm trying to do, and I know we collectively are trying to do. Connecting people to the resources they need is a big part of what we do, which is why we've developed the Community Resource Guide, and we continue working to build additional supports and services within our community. So don't forget that the resource guide is here. If anybody wants some copies, there's tons of copies. But I wanted to take a minute to introduce somebody, that's benefited from peer recovery, to talk about their journey and what led them there. So please welcome Tiffany.
I'm a recovering addict. I started using methamphetamine. Was sober for many years. Well, it took about 18 months. Went to college, did all that stuff, turned my life around. Moved to Greene County in 2017, and I relapsed. I was doing opiates, personal abuse, I believe. And I woke up one day and just decided this isn't what I want. And I want better for my son. And then I found Amanda and I found Ron, and this is a really good support group. And I think anybody in the community, if they want it bad enough, they can have it. So I will have 10 months clean on the 5th. It's a small stepping stone, but I've done it once, I can do it again.
Good job. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing too. Long road to go, but you're rocking it.
I mean, my sister's a cop in Arizona, and she worked for dependent child unit, so she had a lot of young mothers, like their babies would die, or, they were so bad on drugs that something happened. God forgive them, but she would use me as an example. If my little sister can get clean, you can get clean. You just gotta want it, and nobody can force you to do it. So, I did all the domestic violence, and there, done that, and I mean, it's not easy to walk away, but I did. And this time it was a big eye opener. So, it almost cost me my livelihood, and I want a different life for my son, and my son loves seeing his mom clean. I'm giving Pat, but that's okay. It's right here.
Thank you for sharing. We're blessed to have you in our lives.
I kind of like you.
It's hard not to.
She's so fancy. Every time I see fancy boots, I go to the Greenfield building, and they were full of flowers, all I get it one day, but they were just. Thanks for having me.
So the final video, we talk a lot about building an RCL. a recovery community organization. You know, that's the evolution of ROSC. So I wanted to play this video from the Center of Excellence that explains RCO and really what it is.
Isolation often intensifies addiction, but a supportive community can help break this cycle. The first recovery community organization was born out of the need to do more for people with substance use challenges. What began as a small community effort in the early 90s has grown to hundreds of independent recovery community organizations across the country. If you've never heard of a recovery community organization, you're not alone. RCOs are independent, nonprofit organizations led by members of the recovery community, comprised of individuals who understand recovery firsthand. RCOs are like gardens with experienced gardeners helping others cultivate seeds of recovery. These organizations are uniquely positioned to cultivate and nourish local recovery communities, helping primarily through peer support, education, and advocacy. RCO's main function is to make recovery visible and accessible. Most RCOs directly help those with substance use challenges through peer support. Peers are trained individuals with personal experience in addiction recovery. They offer unique support to those in the community due to their shared life experiences. Support can range from recovery coaching to anti-stigma campaigns to social support networks. RCOs understand that there are multiple paths to recovery, and they educate the public, policymakers, and service providers about the viability of various recovery options and the importance of long-term recovery supports. RCOs also provide opportunities to advocate for policies that support recovery. Examples include advocating for government funding for recovery programs, removing barriers to employment and housing, and calling for policies that treat people experiencing substance use challenges with dignity and respect. The goal is to reduce stigma and strengthen the community. Whether individuals receive clinical treatment or not, RCOs offer a community that strengthens and supports them to build meaningful, healthy, lifelong recovery that is unique to each individual. To learn more about recovery community organizations and how we can help, visit the Peer Recovery Center of Excellence.
Okay, I don't know, can you all hear us? Okay, I don't know what happened there, but my computer's being wonky today. So what I was saying is we'll share those resources in our follow-up email. You can use them to take a peek at, share them, you know, put them wherever you want, just to help people understand the work that we as a council do. Recently this week, working on our outreach plan, Beth actually presented on behalf of the council. She shared her story and talked about the work that we in the department is doing. Looking for those opportunities to do that is something that we're going to continue to do, as I was saying earlier. Now that the strategy plan has been submitted, I haven't heard any feedback yet, so we're still awaiting feedback. When Super reviews it and looks and sees what they like, don't like, they'll give us the feedback and send it back. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they just give us approval to move forward with the 5-year plan is what we submitted. So, but other than that, I wanted to take a minute to talk about, just open the floor to discussion. So how do you think that the council is going? What do we need to do better? where do we need to go? And those of you online, don't feel free to jump in. They look frozen. Yeah. So yeah, tonight at 6 p.m. we have the people with lived experience only. It's a closed meeting. There won't be no council members, no nothing at the meeting. It's a PLE meeting only. And it's designed to create a safe place to talk about our work and what we really need to do as we move forward. We also are going to have paint and pizza, so
电池电量低，请充电。Low battery, please charge.
I really thought that was
we're really possessed today.
I was thinking, man, we're getting people
Take it
over.
Okay, so what kind of feedback do we have? Molly, do you have feedback for the
No, I think, we're doing good. I'm glad to see, more people here. And I think that as we move on with Heather getting settled, we're gonna keep building, people to come and really use voices to identify what our next steps are and what resources are needed. And I feel like, and with the training that we recently went to, maybe you want to tell them about that, just what we learned and the opportunity of the RX conference was really great as far as a learning experience for all of us that attended, and the resources that are out there and how to better center programs so that the state maintains.
There's a lot of really great information delivered. There's a lot of Uh-oh, can you hear us? I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm just going to turn off my camera. It looks like we have some internet issues. But what I was saying is the paint and pizza night is tonight. That's from 6 to 7 and 7, sorry, 6 to 7.
6 to 7, 7 to 8 is paint and pizza.
Okay, 7 to 8 is paint and pizza. We're looking forward to that. And then what else do we have coming up?
Say something about Facebook.
Yes, Facebook. So we let Facebook kind of fall backwards because our priorities needed to be continuing what we built as we move forward. We're going to get that back on track and ramp up those outreach efforts. That way we're reaching people in the different ways. There's not just this meeting. There's not just the meeting, the PLE meeting or the strategy meeting. There's other ways that we need to be reaching people. So those efforts will be stepped up in the coming weeks. we have the strategy meeting, which is at 4 o'clock here at the health department in Carrollton. I will be joining that meeting virtually. But I'm looking forward to talking about so we developed a strategy plan. Now it's time to talk about what are we as council members going to do? We've talked about like feeding into helping do the outreach, having those meetings, but we're going to talk about how you really do that. You know, council, like town council meetings and the board meetings. And then ROSC members can choose what they want to go to. I think having different faces represent the council helps reinforce the fact that we are a multifaceted council or collaboration, and I think it helps lend credibility to our work. One of the things that I know that we are going to be doing as we move into May is life skills courses. I talked about this previously. We're almost ready to start. I think it'll be mid-May. And then those life skills classes, we're going to start with one per month, but they'll focus on building productive life skills like finances, like managing and coping with stress, managing and coping with mental health challenges, you know, different things that we need to function, bills, balancing checkbooks. There's so many things that some of us just take for granted that people really need to develop the skills, you know, to make them productive.
I think that'll be good for especially somebody like me because I'll tell you what.
You know, and that's the reason we feedback like what you continue to provide. You know, those things, what do you need?
Well, before 9-10 months ago, I'd get stressed out and I'd just puff a pill. I'd get high because I didn't want to feel it. And now I'm facing everything head on and I'm like, oh.
Stressful. Yeah, absolutely.
I never have any money. I can't balance. No. And I work my ass off and I don't have nothing. And how I'm raising a 7-year-old boy, I have no idea. But I'm doing it. And I'm clean.
My father-in-law's favorite quote to say about that is, what are they gonna do, eat you?
He eats nonstop. Like from the moment he opens his eyes, Mommy, I'm hungry. Okay, so all day long. And he just don't quit. I mean, he's a big boy for him. He's 7 and he wears 10, 12 clothes, but I just can't keep up.
Especially boys.
And then when I am on Suboxone, so if I get too stressed out, I take a Suboxone. You know, I'm used to covering it. And the Suboxone doesn't, I mean, it knocks me out, but it doesn't give me the same effect as the opiate does, you know, so.
I need the key to your guys' desk. Sorry. To your desk.
Oh, I know this.
Thank you for sharing. I know that's not easy, but
That he's like, all the people that are out there causing you stress, they can't eat you. You know what I mean? So it's like you're gonna survive it.
Yeah.
You're gonna survive it.
And, you know, that was me before I get into confrontations or fights, and I'm just like, I walk away. It's not worth it.
learning those coping skills.
Because I'm not gel material.
Well,
Free word.
That's the reason that, you know, that we focused on the education piece and building those skills to build productive lives. And we're looking at the different ways that we
I don't
can.
know how many people I've heard in Greene County say, well, I can't get clean, or I'm like, you're killing yourself. I look at people and I'm thankful I'm not there anymore. Because you can turn your life around. You believe I would want it. Nobody can do it for you. You have to do it yourself.
It has to be,
Right.
yeah. You have to impact.
22.5 pounds, and I was disgusting. My pants were size 4, and I never ever want to be that skinny again in my life, ever.
You're doing great.
I like
You're
being
fantastic.
monkey.
It's an absolute, well, it's not easy. You know, I was laughing in my head whenever you said, I don't know what I'm doing. Because I don't think I know what I'm doing either, especially raising my children. That's a challenge.
I think we're all big kids.
We are.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We're bodies.
I think that's just kind of how life is.
We're
But
just
that's
winging
one
it.
of the skills, you know, the parenting and being a productive parent is something that we're all working to be able to develop, like a program that can help build those skills.
My kid's dad tells me, I'll go take another pill. Well, guess what? I'm clean. You can't say that to me no more.
Right.
Nope.
You're doing great. You're rocking it. So, do we have any other comments, questions, concerns? I don't know if that's locked up.
She hasn't moved, has she?
I don't think so. Does anybody online have any feedback?
I can still hear you.
Okay, as long as it's not like gone.
And just for like the life skills stuff, you know, we can always come down and help with healthy relationships too.
That's great.
Yeah.
I know, we've been working with the Crisis Center, quite a bit. I know we just worked to get, teen violence in the schools.
Say something to both of you since the very first time you guys came to the Root House office. Those women that come to you and say, well, I can't get away, yes you can. Because I'm a living proof that you can walk away.
Absolutely.
My ex-husband almost killed me and I don't have a spleen because of it. So those women, I'd probably like to come to one of your groups
Of course,
sometime
yeah.
because you can walk away. And there is life after domestic violence, just like there's life after meth.
Absolutely. There's light at that end of the.
Just like I graduated college with a 3.75 GPA. Never in my life did I think I'd have that high of a GPA, but I did it. And women can do it. And you know, oh, I don't know where I'm gonna go. I don't know what I'm gonna do. He's my backbone. Oh, honey, you can do it. You just gotta go. Walk
Absolutely.
away. Leave it all. You can have it. Peace out.
It's, you know, that empowerment, you know, empowering people to make.
I
those
went to
decisions.
jail over my ex, and never in my life have I been in trouble. I hurt his new girlfriend, and it's not worth it. I just told some girl last night, now, you know, okay, you don't like me or I'm getting karma, okay. This is my life and I deal with it.
Yep.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
We're so glad that you're here. You're doing an amazing job. Keep rocking it, girl. So our next meeting, like I said, will be next week, the 25th. It's at 4 p.m. here at the health department. The girls will be leading up those efforts. I'll be in Atlanta, so I will be joining virtually though.
I gotta know all these vacations that you go on.
It's a lot of travel here.
Cause I just stick my butt in the sand.
And then the next meeting next month is on the 16th of May, and that will be at 9 a.m. at the office in Root House. So the 16th of May, 9 a.m. at Root House. I'll give you a few minutes back to your day. If nobody has anything, keep up the fantastic work. I hear lots of ongoing discussions all around the community, talking about different ROSC Council members, talking about the work that we collectively are doing together. And, you know, it takes a village to build recovery capital. One person, one organization. So that the council can continue to grow and connect people to the resources they need. So thank you. And thank you everyone for joining us online.
Thank you.
She hasn't moved.